Let's see what they got. I've been cautiously optimistic about this game, but I'm old enough to remember being cautiously optimistic about Sonic Boom, and old enough to remember being fucking stoked for Sonic 06, and we all know how that went. Wow, me guys, you've had years. Years. It's been since 2017. The graphics engine is pulling its weight. They've certainly mastered the rendering of fiddleheads and ferns. I'll give them that much. Maybe it's unfair, but this does remind me of those early looks at Sonic 06. See, the way he lopes along in that way, it looks really stiff. You know, it looks pretty much exactly like the Sonic Generations engine. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like it doesn't look like he gets up to speed. Which is weird because he did it so smoothly all the way back in Sonic Adventure, so I don't understand how they forgot to make that happen, you know? Everything's kind of prescribed, you know what I mean? And oh, what? What is this? Was that supposed to happen? Ooh my. Oh, he was pulling a Dr. Robotnik in the hotel lobby there. It's not looking as open world as they seem to be implying it would be. I have to say I am not loving this walk cycle so far. It does not look easy to control. It's very odd. There's like no sense of momentum, you know? Like he's just kind of locking. There's like little objects that shift you from walking around mode into grinding mode or running mode or whatever. Why are they making him do that? I hate to be a negative Nelly, but this is not inspiring much confidence. I mean, maybe this is just a technical demo, but it's not like, it's not new technology. This just looks like copy-pasted assets from way back in Sonic Generations, you know? It looks cool, and that's about all it does. It's like literally all the same assets from those games. And it's like you can't even really navigate without all these... Oh my god, there was an actual thing down there. There's like some kind of an enemy or something. There was a life form of some kind. You know what? And I don't mean this as bad as it sounds, but you know what it reminds me of, all the mechanics we've seen so far? Bayland Wonderland. How you just have areas and there's these really specific quote-unquote moves that you can use, but they don't really, they don't mesh with the environment at all. It doesn't really look very interesting to explore all this, right? It doesn't, like, you can't, you see that's what, like, he boosts into his run. It looks like you have to hit a button or he just like snaps into it. It doesn't look like you're earning the momentum at all. You know what I mean? And of course, lest we forget, it looks like there's absolutely nothing going on involving rolling, which is what the entire concept of the game was based around. I was almost kind of expecting you would unlock a unique new area with something else in it, like a level or something, but all right. I guess that might be some kind of a power-up you get, but again, it looks like you just hold a button down and that happens, you know? I wouldn't even be surprised if you don't even have to actually steer him in those little circles. I'm not trying to be a bastard about it. Ooh, but that even the running doesn't look good, though. And the jumping looks so stiff and awkward. Like, again, prescribed is the word I'm going with for this. It looks like not quite QuickTime event, but everything is so canned. It looks pretty. I'll give it that. And this is starting to look kind of fun. Like that, there's actually a landscape that you can explore, and it's not just finding rails and springs that feed you places, right? This almost looks like you could make decisions. You know, in Genshin Impact or Breath of the Wild, how basically if you can see it, you can probably get up to it somehow. But this looks really shallow in comparison to that. I'm trying to reserve full judgment because I know this is basically a tech demo. Oh, you fucked up the puzzle. How embarrassing. It's just the moment-to-moment feel that looks bad. It's not the detail. Like, okay, fine, little puzzle boxes, that's fine. Unlockables, all this stuff. Like, no one element here is really like a deal breaker. It just doesn't look, it looks kind of like, it reminds me of Sonic 4. You know what I mean? How it looks like a certain type of game. In that case, it looked like an old Sonic game, but it's missing all the actual mechanical elements that made it worth anything. All right, this is the combat trailer. There's gonna be actual enemies. That's reassuring, because the first trailer didn't have much going on in it. I'll give it this. At least this enemy doesn't just stand there and wait for you to knock him down, except the combat really doesn't look like it could possibly involve much more than just hitting the same button a bunch of times. Like, what if this enemy, what if you use like the bouncing mechanic from Sonic Adventure 2, right? What if you had to bounce up and land on a weak point, and then you could kind of regain some momentum if you hit it right, and if you hit it wrong, you'd get flung away. And then you'd have to master a skill to sort of finish him off quickly, right? Man, even the rings bouncing away isn't as satisfying as the 20-year-old versions of this game look. Oh my god, an actual move? I wonder if there's anything to that other than picking up an item and hitting a button, though, you know? The move they came up with in Sonic Mania, where you tuck into a spin dash in midair, that was ingenious, and it fundamentally changed how you approach levels and enemies. In some cases, something so simple meant a lot more than all this flashy stuff. So far, I'm not trying to be bitchy. Just calling it like I sees it. I'll say, you know what? At least the designs are cool, but it's not that fucking egg pawn again for the 90 millionth time. At least these enemies more or less make use of 3 dimensions in some way. This does not look like the most engaging thing I've ever witnessed. See, that almost involved baiting him into doing something and then reacting to it. So the strategy is to do that loop thing over and over again and just keep hitting him. I can't wait to find out about the 15 mandatory missions as Charmy the Bee, though. When are they gonna reveal that part? That always seems to come up sooner or later. So we got bad guys that look like they're out of a Nier game. I don't mind that so much, but boy oh boy, fighting them does not look fun. This game reminds me of my Twitter account. It has a severe lack of engagement. I wonder, I bet most, like usually the problems with Sonic games are all the corporation's fault, because I mean, whatever team's working on this, clearly they've been doing something. It looks amazing. The art is cool. I like the enemy design so far. It just looks like you just have to do the same thing over and over again, which, I mean, I guess that's kind of how bosses in classic Sonic games worked, but those bosses could be done in like 30 seconds. If you were good at it. This looks like it's just gonna take up your whole day, you know? I'm not trying to be mean. I want to like this game, but it does say something that it's become sort of a trending topic that this game doesn't look that promising, because there was a time when a Sonic game not being good was not worthy of commentary. So it goes to show time heals all wounds. The idea that people were waiting for this with bated breath, and now they're kind of like the entire internet's up in arms like, oh man, let's see that Sonic trailer. I'm like, sorry Sonic, sorry Sega. I know it must seem like it's impossible to please us. I'm sure you're sitting there thinking, what the hell do you people want? But I just want inheritable momentum and rolling mechanics. That's about it. That's all anyone ever wanted. And rings that bounce right.